Well, hello everyone. This is Miss Kim with our weekly tutorial on a game for social distancing. This will be a good family game. It's called Mexican Train Dominoes. We had a request on Facebook for instructions on this game. Many people know how to play it. There are a variety of different rules. Every family plays it differently. So you can kind of just cherry pick which rules work best for your family. So we'll move to the board and I'll start explaining how things work here. Paul's going to adjust the camera angle so hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better. We have this handy dandy little hub here. You do not need this. If you don't have a hub for this, you can just start with your domino in the middle like this. But we happen to have the hub, so we're going to use it because it helps with visibility. Also, just to let you know, if you do buy a hub on Amazon, either get it without the sound effect or disable it, or you will need to play this game with an adult beverage because your children will be pushing it all the time and drive you absolutely crazy. So just an FYI on that. I'm not going to push it because it goes forever and it's a train sound and it's really annoying, but kids love it. So there's that. So the goal of Mexican Train Dominoes is to be the first player to get rid of all of your dominoes. Now I have the board set up now for 3 players. You can play up to 8 with a hub. It's a little harder with that many without the hub. I've played it up to 6, but you can play with any number of people. Normally your dominoes would not be visible to your opponents. They'd be up, or they make these handy dandy little tile holders that you can use that keep them from getting knocked over. But I have them face up so we can demonstrate easily how the game is played. So usually how we start is you find the highest double in the set of dominoes. This particular set is a double 12. I would not recommend playing with less than a double 9 for this game. And for the number of players that you have, we find double 12 works for anything up to 7 to 8 players. And you get a different number of starting dominoes depending on the number of players. But the first thing you do is find your highest double, turn it up, turn all your other dominoes face down, shuffle them. You just do this. And then people draw their playing tiles, their playing dominoes. Now for 3 players, 2 to 3 players, you take 8. I'm starting with 12 just so that I can demonstrate the game. And you get more tiles as you go up. But we're just going to start with like this, and you can choose however many you want to start with. The goal of the game, like I said, is to get rid of all your dominoes. You play rounds successively, so like the next round would be double 11, double 10. You can start with double 6 if you want and just go down from there. You can start with double 12 and go to double 6. You don't have to play all the way down to double 0 if you don't want to. So you have your double tile set out. Everybody starts their train. Each little point of the hub is an individual train. People play their own trains. We'll talk about when you can play on other people's trains, but initially we're just going to start with the player to my right. You lay your domino with the matching pips or dots. So you'd line up a 12 to go there. Some people play that once you lay your initial tile down, you're done. Other people play that you continue to play until you can't play anymore. We play just one tile, so that's how I'm going to play. There's my tile, and this player has this tile. All right, then we're back to this player. Now you can, if you have a double, you can play it. You lay it sideways, and this is the time that you play another tile. When you play a double, you have to continue play with the matching tile, and then you're done. Now, if this player did not have a matching tile, they would put their marker. This set comes with little trains, but we use pennies. In the past, we used pennies. So you set your train there. Now this player, though, can play another tile, and so he goes like this. Just a reminder that when you play each tile successively, the numbers need to match what you're touching. So the double one, this is a double 11, would have to have an 11 tile touching it. And now this one will have to have a 7 attached there. But so mine is a 7, so I'm going to do this tile. Now, again, your goal is to get rid of all of your dominoes, but your second goal, in case you can't get rid of all your dominoes, is to have the lowest score. So you usually like to play your highest number immediately. Okay, so this player, I'm going to do his double 4 and attach there. All right, now we're back to this player. He has a 7. You just continue playing. I'm going to go here. And this player now does not have an 8, so they will need to draw a tile. This is called the boneyard, and this is where you draw from. And, oh, that doesn't play. So now this player puts his train on his domino, which means that he'll have to play on his train to remove this from his dominoes. But now it's open for any of the rest of us to play on this train. The only time you can play on somebody else's train is if they can't, and they've marked it thusly. So now this player has a 3 at the end of his train, so he's going to play his 3 with his 11. I have a 2. I'm going to do my 2 and 10. Now I could also have done this if I wanted, but I don't feel inclined to add to this player's domino because well, normally you wouldn't see what they have, but if I did play there, then they could play like this and take their train off, and now their train is closed to everybody else. But I'm not choosing to do that because, hey, I'm cheating and seeing what they have. So anyway, now we're on to this player. She can continue to play. You can branch your train out however you want. And play continues around and around like this. Now this player will have to draw again. They still don't have something that will play. But now this player is going to help him out, and he's going to play his double and this. Now he could have played it there, but for some reason he's choosing to do it there. So this player still has to have his train on because he hasn't played on his train yet. I'm going to play my blank 7. And they don't have a 1, so they're going to have to draw. Oh, they still can't play. So they keep their train. Now, the other thing that they could have done if they had not placed their train here, they can start the Mexican train, which is one that any player can play on. And that would go on an open slot. And then a different colored marker would be put there to let people know that anybody could play on that train. You can only have 1 Mexican train per game. Anybody can play on it, but you can only start 1, and you can do that in lieu of playing on your domino if you want to do that on your train. One of the other variations is on doubles. Another way to play doubles is to do a chicken foot off of the double, where when a double is played, everybody has to play a domino, or there has to be 3 dominoes coming off of the double before play can resume on any other train. So that's a kind of a challenging version of it, and then that player has 3 places to play off of. So you can play that way if you want. We never do. We just keep it pretty simple. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really needs to be. Your goal, as I said, is to get rid of all of your dominoes. You play until all of the dominoes are gone, and draw from the boneyard when you can't play anymore. The player who loses, empties all their dominoes first, wins that round, and then you add up the number of pips or dots on your dominoes, and that's your score. There are some variations with doubles. If you're caught with the double 0, that it's 50 points if you don't get that played, or 25. Some people play 25 or 50. Other people just count it as 0. That's how house rules, however you want to do that. You draw from the boneyard if you can't play on your first turn. Sometimes it happens you don't have a 12 or a 10 or whatever, and then you have to draw from the boneyard. If you turn up a domino that plays, you can play it immediately. You don't have to wait till the next turn to do it. That's called a golden domino. When you get to pull one, then it gets to play. Let's see. I don't think that there's anything else. It's a pretty it's a pretty simple game. If this player could not play on his double, then I would have had to play before I could play on my train. A double always has to be answered. So if this player didn't have a double 11, the rest of the players could not play until that double was answered. I think if there's anything else. It's one of those games that when you have to really kind of play it to figure out what your questions will be. There are rules posted on the internet, and if anybody ever has questions, if they start to play, you can call and ask the library. We're here to help too. Let's see. I think that's about it. It's a pretty simple game. Somebody else questioned whether there are different domino games. There are dozens and dozens of domino games. There's chicken foot, which I kind of alluded to here. This is like a combination of when you do the 3 dominoes. This is not chicken foot. So this is Mexican train. But there are a lot of different domino games. So if there's anybody who's interested, just let us know what you're interested in learning, and we will be happy to teach it to you. Paul, is there anything that you're questioning?
No, I would just say if there's another game you'd be interested in learning, feel free to comment it and we can look into it. Yep. Just like you got the idea for this one.
I will say too that this is an awesome game for teaching kids math. There's a lot of addition, there's a lot of counting with it, and I know that my younger sister learned a lot of math learning to play dominoes with my grandma, and my kids too. It's a good math game, so you can count it as math class at home. All right, thank you very much. Next week I will be teaching the card game Speed. I think, Paul, do you have anything else planned for you?
The last Thursday of the month I'll be teaching how to play sevens.
Sevens, yep. We call that 7-Up in our house, so it's a fun game. Hopefully you'll enjoy Mexican Train, and again, if you have any questions, call us or check YouTube or the internet. There's answers out there. Enjoy.